Good day, everyone. Welcome to our podcast titled The 1973 Constitution, A Nation Under One Man's Rule. This episode is part of the campaign, Knowing Our Constitution, Knowing Our Nation. We will discuss how the 1973 Constitution came to be, what it contained, and how it shaped our nation's government identity.
The story of the 1973 Constitution began in 1970, when President Ferdinand Marcos called for a constitutional convention. The goal was to change the 1935 Constitution, which had been used since the Commonwealth period.
At the time, the country was facing many problems such as corruption, student protests, and social unrest. While the convention was still meeting, Marcos declared martial law on September 21, 1972. He said it was to bring peace and order to the country.
However, many believe it was a way to extend his time in power. The 1973 Constitution was later ratified through citizen assemblies, not through a regular national vote. This made people question its legitimacy and fairness. The 1973 Constitution changed the form of government from a presidential system to a parliamentary system. This means that the president became both head of the state and prime minister.
Created a unicameral legislature called the Bansang Pambansa, which replaced Congress. In this system, there was no clear separation of powers between the executive and legislative branches.
The Constitution also gave the President broad powers, especially during martial law. He could rule by presidential decrees, meaning he could make laws even without Congress. Although the Constitution mentioned civil rights and freedoms, many of these were suspended under martial law. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and the right to protest were all limited during that time.
The 1973 Constitution had a big effect on the Philippines. It was used to legalize Marcos' one-man rule and allowed him to stay in power for many years.
Because of it, many Filipinos lost their trust in the government, but it also opened the eyes of the people and made them more aware of their rights and freedom.
This awareness later inspired the People Power Revolution of 1986, where millions of Filipinos united to end the Marcos regime. This event marked the return of democracy and the country.
When we compare the 1973 Constitution with the 1935 Constitution, we can see the big difference. The 1935 version had a strong checks and balance, but the 1973 weakened these powers and gave more control to the president. The 1987 Constitution, which replaced the 1973 version, restored democracy and strengthened the protection of human rights. It was designed to prevent another dictatorship from happening again.
The 1973 Constitution served as a reminder that laws can be used either to protect the people or to control them. It shows how important it is to have leaders who respect the Constitution and the rights of every citizen.
The 1973 Constitution was more than just a document. It was a reflection of a difficult time in Philippine history. It showed how power can be abused when not balanced by justice and truth. But it also taught Filipinos the values of unity, courage, and democracy. From those lessons, the nation rose again, stronger and wiser.
As we remember the 1973 Constitution, may we continue to value our freedom and never forget the importance of good governance and public participation. This has been Knowing Our Constitution, Knowing Our Nation. We are your hosts. Thank you for listening. And always remember, know your rights, know your history, and know your nation.